Good morning, FVL. This is Tiegan reporting. Today we will be reporting on the Nile River and why it was so important to ancient Egypt. Without this river, the Egyptians would have had nothing. So here's Alex Mansky on all the things the Nile gave to the Egyptians of 5000 BC.
Every year the Nile River floods, bringing fertile soil called silt to the Nile Delta area. The delta is a triangularly shaped piece of land around at the mouth of the river that is made up of silt deposits. When the waters receded from the flooding, the Egyptians would plant the silt with seeds that were grown into plants they would use for food, beer, and clothes. But if there wasn't enough flooding, the people would starve because there wouldn't be enough silt, and if there was too much, buildings got destroyed. And during the Middle Kingdom of Egypt, pharaohs built dikes to hold water for irrigation. The people also used the river as a source of drinking water. The Nile River provided very good transportation because it ran from south to north, meaning the ships could go up the river or down the river. And there were prevailing winds that came in from north to south, so they had ships that could sail up that way. I thought these things were bigger!
But don't just take our word for it. Here are some real-life people and their thoughts on the gift of the Nile.
What I know about the Nile River is it's a bigger river. Why it was important to the Egyptians had something to do with something called silt. I think it was some kind of dirt, but it would wash up on shore, and I think it was good for the crops. So I think that's why it was good for the Egyptians.
The Nile River also provided the Egyptians with papyrus, which was then cut, bonded together, and used for a writing service that was a lot like paper. It was a far advanced writing service compared to those at the time in the rest of the ancient world. Because by that time in the rest of the ancient world, people were still carving it into rock or just imprinting it on clay. It was much more transportable, making it much more beneficial.
So there you have it. Without the Nile, there would be no Egyptians. Tiegan Fager, FVL News.